We're here on the ferry Columbia. It's part of the Alaska Marine Highway System. We've been on the boat for 15 hours, launched at Bellingham at 5 p.m. Alaska time. In Bellingham, it was blue sky and a few light clouds. We drove on to the ferry and parked. We got on the boat, had a bite to eat. We're pointing north to Ketchikan. We're fishing for salmon with my daughters Mikayla and Jennifer and my wife Merrilee. Had a beautiful sunset, and we're looking forward to putting the hurt on some sockeyes, pinks, and chums in a big way over the next few days. It's part of the Alaska experience, this changeable weather. We're in the inside passage. It was beautiful blue sky in Bellingham when we got on the boat yesterday, and we woke up this morning to overcast and patches of blue, and now we're enveloped in fog, and we're going to see several changes of weather. It's what makes this trip uniquely Alaskan. You can really get a good sense of why they call this the inside passage. And now we're going through this narrow piece of water, Sarah Island, along Princess Royal Island, and then just working our way up through these narrow channels. A lot of the people on this trip are Alaskans, going back and forth from the lower 48, and so they've got their animals with them, and it's pretty fun to see a guy with 4 horses in his horse trailer, and then the people visiting their dogs down on the car deck. A couple times during the day, we get the opportunity to go down and maybe get something out of the vehicle or take the dogs for a walk. And it's all part of this ride, this ferry ride. For us, it's 36 hours. For somebody heading farther north, it could be quite a bit longer than that. And there's a whole host of amenities on this boat to keep passengers entertained. We took an opportunity to go up to the bridge, and we met with Captain Scott Cruz and the rest of the crew. This is our position.
This is our position, right? This is our ship.
Yep.
This is the Northern Expedition. So we've got them acquired as a target, and we can see that their range is 1.4. It is true bearing from us, 277 degrees. Closest point of approach, and the time to the closest point of approach. So it also gives us their course over the ground and speed over the ground.
Okay, so their speed over the ground is 20 knots?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they got it in high gear.
Yeah. And how fast are we going? About 16?
Yeah, we're going 16.8,
yeah.
More economical mode.
It was fascinating to look at the charts and the radar and plot the ships and the other boats and the danger spots going through here. These guys, they have it so plotted out that they know exactly where they need to be in relation to the other boats, the distance and the time between when they're going to pass the vessels coming at them. We went down into the engine room and walked around with Laura. She showed us around these twin V16 engines that produce almost 12,000 horsepower.
Welcome to the control room.
Yeah.
This is our office.
Yeah.
So this is where we can do all of the starting and stopping of the main engines, as well as the generators. There's 3 generators on board. We use 2 normally for our power up in the house. And then there's 2 Enterprise diesel engines. They're V16s. And normally the bridge has control as far as speed, and we just start them up and give them control.
Yeah.
If we needed to take control, we could. And obviously we're always in communication with them. It's our bow thruster. So when we're docking, they use that to help maneuver also. And if we were to lose main engine power, that would be able to propel us at
Okay,
4 knots.
sure.
It's its own Caterpillar engine.
Right.
So it's a self-contained unit of sorts. Lots of other bath thrusters are just a large motor.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everything else is supported.
Yes.
That's supported going through there. It
Right.
has an oil seal and a water seal.
Oh, okay.
And both of those provide cooling.
Yeah.
Just a salt water seal.
Right.
And then right out there's the propellers.
To see the big screws turning in opposite directions that propel the boat, and then the different systems at work down there, and to get a sense of what it takes to keep this boat running. We're 45 minutes out of Ketchikan. The trip has taken us 35 hours to this point. It's kind of fun. It's been like we've been on a floating city, moving at 16 knots up through an intricate maze of islands. And yesterday we left the passage for a short time and we're out in the open ocean. You could feel the swells and the ship moving up and down, and some people had to move to the center of the boat, went through some rain squalls, and we're looking forward to checking out the city and going fishing. We're just off the ferry. We've had breakfast. Now we're going to the Deer Mountain Tribal Hatchery and Eagle Center.
It's a progressive, drawn-out process where, you know, the eggs and the milk are taken annually from returning salmon, and they're put together to fertilize the eggs. Then they go into the chillers, so it represses the development till we're ready for them to
Oh,
start
wow,
growth.
okay. Yeah.
That's how we can control releases. And what we're raising right now is king salmon and coho salmon.
Kings and
King
cohos.
and coho.
The totem pole is this icon of Southeast Alaska. It acted almost like an address for each house. There's a whole life cycle to the totem pole. It starts out as a tree, of course, and when it dies, it's carved into this address post, and then it's out there in the elements. Things decay quickly. Here, that totem pole is going to be gone in less than 100 years, and it'll need to be replaced. And so in a large village, there's always going to be totem poles that are being replaced, carved, painted, and in various stages of decay. When that totem pole is lost, it's gone back to the earth, and it is replaced, and that's the tradition, just this renewal and the continuation of the culture. Okay, so girls, we're going to be fishing with spinners, spoons, and jigs primarily. So what are the 5 Pacific salmon? We've got the chum, sockeye, king, silver, and pink. That's right. There's also some cutthroat trout around. So we've got some spinners are perfect for catching rainbow trout, cutthroat trout, as well as steelhead, and they will work on salmon, but not quite as well. These rooster tail spinners, all right. In the morning, we're going to get up and go up to Clover Pass Resort. We're going to meet Russell Thomas and Michael Briggs and get in one of their boats. And we're going to run to Loring, where we're going to pick up Mark Edwards from Naha Bay Resort and take the boat up to Margaret Creek, and that's the spot where we're going to be fishing for chums, pinks, and coho, and maybe get a chance to fish with the bears that are competing for the salmon we're after.
Well, Mark, nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too, Mark. When you think about going to Alaska and you look at the map, you see a state that is 2 times the size of Texas, and you think, where do I want to go to get the true Alaskan experience? Here at Margaret Creek. It was a place I'd never heard of before, just a little bay back inside a place called Trader's Cove. We're hoping to be in on a pod of salmon coming fresh up out of the saltwater, and we really missed them. But we got in on the rainbow trout action and some cutthroats, and caught them on the fly and caught them on spinning gear. You really don't know what's going to happen. Your weather plays a big role wherever you go in Alaska. The thing about fish run timing is you never know if you're going to hit it exactly, because the fish don't follow our schedules, they follow their calendar. It's the cycles of rain and floods and sunshine and tides that send them up the rivers, and so we do the best we can. We pick 5 days on the calendar and head north and hope for the best. When we hit the Naha River and paddled out of the lagoon and into the mouth of the river, we saw fish stacked in this hole. When I saw those fish laying in there, I knew this is the spot. Set, set. Set. There you go, you got him. Yeah. Ooh, nice fish, Jen. Okay, bring it here. No, this is another pink, but it's a brighter one than we've got. Nice fish, Jenny. Hard right there. Go. Okay, ready, Jay? Okay. We're paddling back to Loring through a passage next to Dogfish Island. We were able to come through here in the morning, but the water's up and we can get through here now at high tide. And we found the fish right where we thought we would, and the same reason we were there brought the bears in. The bears were on the other side of the river, and that's what you want. And then it was one bear after another, a lone male, and then a mother and a cub, and then a big male. And the mother and the cub took off running because they don't want to be anywhere around that big dominant boar at this time of year. This is a place that is constantly changing, but even in the things that change, the one thing that remains the same is Alaska is as wild as ever. As fishermen, we're part of a circle that includes the salmon, the bear, the wolf, the eagle, and the raven. And out here in the inside passage, salmon are splashing at the mouths of the rivers, and the DNA of kings runs in the spruce and the western cedar.